Okay. So what was the complex number? X plus iy was a complex number. Can anyone tell me what is the complex conjugate?
X minus IV.
X minus iy. So you know the operations of in general we denote with the variable z x plus iy, and what about the conjugate of the complex number is denoted by
Z bar.
z bar. Yes, perfect. You all know the relations between z and z bar. Those are very important for us. Do you all remember any relationship between z and z bar?
Yes, ma'am. Some relations were there.
Some relations are there, that I know. Even we all have relations. I want to, to tell you what is the relation there.
Some of them gives the real part of the complex
Real part
number.
of the complex number will be z plus z bar by 2, correct?
By 2.
Similarly, imaginary part of a complex number will be equal to z minus z bar by 2i. Okay, what do you know about mod z? What do you know about mod z?
Square root of x square plus y square.
Square root of x plus y square. I want in terms of z and z bar.
Under root of z into z bar.
Z, yeah.
Huh?
Under root of z
Under
into
root
z
of z
bar.
plus z bar. That is mod z square will be equal to z plus z bar. Z into z bar. Yes or no? Okay, so those are the basic operations I just wanted to tell you. I'll just share the screen now. Okay. So because those operations are very important. So yesterday I gave you all this definition, what is a complex number, and a complex number is displayed in a rectangular form and polar form. Then some operations, real part and imaginary part. I told you when the two complex numbers are equal, I told you the real part and the real part, imaginary part and imaginary parts are equal. Then only say that we say that the two complex numbers are equal. And I told you if we can find some difference, product and quotient, that is division. So when you are finding the division, you have to always remember in the complex, you cannot directly divide a number. You have to multiply by its conjugate and then only you can divide by number. See here, I have x2 plus iy2. I'm multiplying by x2 minus iy2, both the numerator and denominator, then splitting the terms. This is the way you can do the division in the complex number. And on polar form also we have seen yesterday. So what was x and what was y, what is r square and other things we have seen in the class, in the last class. Now this is the thing mainly I have to remember, because this we are going to use again and again. This we are going to use, these operations you are going to use again and again. So what is your r? You all know it is square root of x square plus y square, and it is called the modulus of the complex number. And similarly, theta is called the argument or amplitude of the complex number. Okay, it is called as amplitude or argument of the complex number. Okay, so now here z and z bar are the two complex numbers, z and its conjugate is z bar. So real part of the z will be equal to 1 by 2 into z plus z bar. Imaginary part of the z will be equal to 1 by 2i into z minus z bar. This I said. So this was a major conclusion we have to always remember in the complex. So you should know how to write z bar. So z bar can always be expressed as mod z square. Similarly, mod of z1 z2 will be equal to z1 bar into z2 bar. And even you can express this mod z as square root of x square plus y square. What is your x? X is your real part. What is your y? Y is your imaginary part. So that only I have written r of square and I of square. That is real part square, imaginary part. This is equal even to the z bar. The same thing is applicable even in the z bar, okay, because it's a square, right? So even in the z bar you're going to have the same conclusions. And similarly, you can even find the addition of z plus z bar, z1 bar plus z2 bar. Similarly, the division, it will be equal to z1 bar by z2 bar, provided the denominator is not equal to 0. So these are the main things you have to remember throughout this 1 and 2 modules, 1 2 3 or what, how many ever complex we are going to talk about it. So you have to remember these basic operations, this 1 2 3 4 5 6, all these things we'll be using again and again. Okay, so this you have to remember. Next one, the representation of a complex number. This also yesterday I told you, we take a point. This you all know, the x coordinate, the y coordinate, that is your complex number, the radial distance and how much angle it makes. This also I taught you yesterday. Then I said about the functions, many to one function, one to one function, multi-valued function, single valued function, all these things I told you. And I even showed you the representation of a complex number. How would you call, sorry, complex function. So we denote it by W. W is nothing but equal to f of z. What is your f of z? U plus iv, where u is a function of x and y, v is a function of x and y, and u plus iv, everything in terms of a polar coordinate, it is equals to r e power I theta. Okay, so if you have only one value, it is a single valued function. If you have more values, it is a multi-valued function. So these are the basic things. Then little bit of limit definitions also we need it. So we'll just talk about the limit. Can anyone define a limit? What is a limit?
A certain
No.
function or variable which reaches a certain point but is like it's around in the neighborhood of that point, but not exactly at
Neighbor of the dot point, that the neighborhood should be finite, right? Less than some small quantity. That is very important. Okay, it should be with that small quantity that you have to take care. So here I have defined it. See, f of x be a function defined on an interval x equal to a, except at possible at x equal to a. Then we say that limit x tends to a f of x equal to. So limit of this function at a is equals to capital L. What it means? What it means, see, this is your curve. This f of x is your curve. Okay, this f of, you have a point A. Okay, the corresponding to the small change in the small interval, the particular epsilon is a very small value. Epsilon is a very small value. For every epsilon greater than 0, the mod f of x minus the limit value should be less than epsilon. In that case, we say that L is a limit of a function, provided what you should do. What is the condition? Whenever this x minus a, what is this x minus a? What is your a? A is the point at which we are finding the limit. Okay, a is the point at which we are finding the limit, provided x minus a is equals to less than delta. Delta is a small change and even epsilon is a small change. Delta is a small change in the x-axis, epsilon is a small change in the y-axis. Corresponding to this instant, what is the corresponding change we have? Where it exists, that is your limit of a function. Then you have left hand limit, right hand limit, all those things, you just browse it off. That's more than enough. Now I'll just move on to the other part of your this is your module. Okay, here where you are going to start with your complex. In the complex, first we are going to talk about analytic function. First we are going to talk about analytic function. So I told you about what is a single valued function, what is a multi-valued function. So I'll just skip on to it. Continuity also, just now I showed you what is a limit value. Here I have defined everything in terms of z because we are dealing with a complex number. So whatever the definition is holding good in the real will hold good in the complex number. Okay, see, this only class I'll be using this slide. For the all other class I'll be solving using the board, because here we have definitions. I want you all to take down the definitions properly. So that's why I am just using the slide here. Okay, a function w equal to f of z is said to be continuous at the point z is equals to z naught. Everything in terms of a complex number. A function w equal to f of z is said to be continuous at the point z is equals to z naught if f of z naught exists. And how it is? Limit z tends to z naught, f of z should be equal to f of z naught. When you apply the limit, the value will be equal to f of z naught. In that case, we say that the given function is continuous. Given function is continuous. Further, f of z is said to be continuous in any region. F of z is said to be continuous in any region in the z plane if it is continuous at every point of that region. F of z is said to be continuous in the region if it is continuous at every point of that region. Okay, 1 minute. I'll just open the board also. Yeah. Suppose the region need not be a perfect region. The region can be even like this. The region can be. So here is a point some z naught. Here is a point some z naught. We say that the function is continuous in this entire region. If it is continuous at any point you take inside this region, the function has to be continuous. How do you say that the function has to be continuous? Limit z tends to z naught. Your f of z should be equal to f of z naught. If this is satisfied at each and every point in that region, then we say that the given function is continuous in that region. Then we say that the given function is continuous at that region. Now we will talk about f of z. What is your f of z, ma? W is equals to f of z. What is your w? W is nothing but u plus iv. What is u? U is a real part, v is a imaginary part. Now if I say this f of z is continuous, what can you say about the real part and the imaginary part? Can anyone tell me? What can you say about the real part? I'm saying that this function is continuous. F of z is continuous. I'm saying f of z is continuous. Can anyone comment on the real part and the imaginary part? How it will be? Whether real part will be continuous or not continuous, or imaginary part will be continuous, whether both have to be continuous or one can be continuous. Can anyone conclude on this?
Ma'am, both will be continuous.
Both will be continuous. Then only we say that the function is continuous. See, it is noteworthy that f of z is continuous, then both u and v are also continuous. So any function, if you say in a complex it is a continuous, then it means the real part is also continuous. The imaginary part individually, both the parts are continuous. Okay. Now differentiation, differentiability. You know what is a differentiation? Can anyone tell me what is d by dx?
It is the tangent of it is the tangent at the point of a curve.
It is a tangent at the point of a curve.
Or a
That is
slope of the
mathematical
point.
definition. I want someone to say, like what to say? If
It is
suppose,
by how much is the value changing in a particular region?
yeah, that I want. So I just wanted you to tell you what is the change, okay? Corresponding change to corresponding value. That is your d by dx, okay? That only I just wanted to tell you. So change in a variable, okay? How much from here to this point? You are applying something, some force, something you are applying. What is the change in that region? That is your differentiation. So differentiation, normal definition of the differentiation, do you remember? So here I have written in terms of complex number I have written. So you just take down a function f w is equals to f of z is defined in a certain region R is said to be differentiable at the point z is equals to z naught if the limit f dash of z naught, limit of this, that the small del z is a small change, okay, this limit exists, this value exists, then we say that the above limit should be same along the path z to z naught. So differentiation, whatever we are talking normal differentiation, that definition will hold good. You remember we would have written f dash of c. What is f dash of c? Limit x tends to c, f of x plus c minus f of x divided by x, your small c, that change only I have written here in terms of del z. Okay. Now this is the basically definitions of analytic function. Okay, you have to remember these definitions. Definitions are also important. Okay, just listen, concentrate. A single valued function w equal to f of z in the region R is said to be analytic at a point z is equals to a. Okay, a single valued function w equal to f of z in the region R is said to be analytic at a point z is equals to a if f of z is differentiable not only at a but at every point of some neighborhood of a. Let me explain it. Suppose you have a region. So this is your region R. Okay. Now what is given? Listen. A single valued function w equal to f of z in the region R is said to be analytic at point some z is equals to a. So you have a point some z is equals to a. At this point, we say that the function f of z is analytic when it is differentiable. When it is differentiable. Otherwise, if you are able to draw a small neighborhood around that point, there are many points. Okay, there are many points in this region. So here, if you are able to draw a small neighborhood, here you are able to draw a small neighborhood such that how? Okay, such that It is differentiable not only at A, but at every point in some neighborhood of A. So if you are using the small distance, if some points are lying this, all these points the function has to be differentiable. There may be few points where the function is not differentiable. There are this because you have a bigger region. So you have some regions. So you are able to draw a small neighborhood such that few points inside this region the function is differentiable. At this point it may not be differentiable. So you have to take care that if you are able to draw a small neighborhood around that point, the function has to be differentiable at each and every point in that neighborhood. And how is the function f of z? It is a single valued function. I told you what is a single valued function. All the function converges to the same value. That is your single valued function. Okay. At some point, then we say that at every point of some neighborhood of A, then if a function f of z, what did I say? Okay, it is differentiable. When it is differentiable, it is analytic. How it is analytic? It is differentiable not only at that point A in some neighborhood of A. That is your analytic function. The analytic function is either way known as it is holomorphic function or regular function. The other names of the analytic function are holomorphic function or regular function. You can just see if a function f of z is analytic at every point in a certain region R, then f of z is said to be analytic in that region. An analytic function is also known as holomorphic function or regular function. They are also known as holomorphic function or regular function. What do you mean by that? A function f of z may be differentiable in the region exceptly possibly with finite number of points. These points are called singular points. Okay, and I told you, no, here the function may not be differentiable. Here the function may not be differentiable. Analytic function means it has to be differential. The point at which the function is not analytic is called singular point. The point at which the function is not analytic. Here it is not analytic. Not analytic means it is called singular point. Those points are called singular points. The points at which the function is differentiable, then those points the function is known as analytic function. The function is known as analytic function. So I hope you have understood the definition of the analytic function. Anyone has any doubts in this?
No, ma'am, no doubts.
No doubt. So you have understood the analytic function. Okay. Analyticity you can prove either by the direct definition or you can prove by a equation called as CR equation. Okay, called as CR equation. What is CR equation? Cauchy-Riemann equation. You have called Cauchy-Riemann equation. What is this Cauchy-Riemann? The name of the two people. Okay. Augustin Cauchy and Bernard Riemann. These two people invented an equation which has four partial derivatives. Suppose you have a function f of z and you know that this is equals to u plus iv. What will be the four partial derivatives? This is a function of x and y. This is a function of x and y. What will be the four partial derivatives? Ux, uy, vx. Sorry, I'll write it again. Vx, vy. Okay, there are four partial derivatives: ux, uy, vx, vy. So based on these four partial derivatives, they have defined the necessary and sufficient condition for a function to be analytic. Necessary and sufficient condition for a function to be analytic. What are those equations? Those equations are called CR equations. What is CR equations in Cartesian coordinates? CR equations in Cartesian, coordinates. Okay, what is CR equations in Cartesian coordinates? Ux is equals to Vy and Uy is equals to minus Vx. That is, these two equations are satisfied. Then we say that the given function f of z is analytic. So there are 2-3 ways to prove the analyticity of the problem. One is using the CR equation. Other one is using direct definition. So we will do the problems. Either way, we will be doing the problems. There is no we need not stick on to any one method. We can prove either way, but most convenient method will be using CR equations. The most convenient method will be using CR equations. So what is that? Ux is equals to Vy and Uy is equals to minus Vx. This is called CR equations in, tell me, ma.
Ma'am, firstly, so if a function is given, then we have to calculate its four partial derivatives and then we have to equate.
Yes. You have to,
Okay,
after
ma'am.
once the function is given, you have to find the 4 partial derivatives and then we have to equate. So that is your CR equation. But let me tell you one more thing. There is a necessary and sufficient condition. Let us see what is that condition. See, listen. The necessary condition says for function to be analytic, what it says. The necessary condition for W equal to f of z equal to u plus iv to be analytic at any point z is equals to x plus iy if the 4 partial derivative ux, uy, vx, vy should exist. First, they should exist and they should satisfy CR equations. They should exist and they should satisfy CR equation. Then only we say that the function is analytic. Then only we say that the function is analytic. No proof is not needed for you. So there is a proof for that, but I'm not proving it because it's not needed. Okay, so the partial derivative CR equations are ux equal to. There is a sufficient condition also. What does a sufficient condition says? The sufficient condition for a function f of z to be analytic is, what it is ux equal to vy and uy equal to minus vx, and the 4 partial derivatives should all be continuous in that region. So any region you take, the 4 partial derivatives should be continuous in that region. How it will be continuous? You know that the limit value has to exist. Okay, limit value has to exist. Then only we can say that the function is continuous. It has to be differentiable. It has to be a differentiable function. Then only we can say that it is a continuous function. You can understand the link. Okay, so this is a sufficient condition. So in general, if you remember this, this is more than enough. CR equation, Cauchy-Riemann equation, Cauchy-Riemann equations. What is Cauchy-Riemann equations? Ux is equals to vy and uy is equals to
Y is
minus
equals to
vx.
minus vx.
Please make a note of this. This is very important. These are the Cauchy-Riemann equations to prove the analyticity of the function. Analyticity of the function. Either you call it as analytic function or holomorphic function, or what was the other name I gave? Or regular function. Regular function. All means the same. All means the same. Okay, there are CR equations even in polar coordinates. There are CR equations in polar coordinates. What are the CR equations in polar coordinates? Okay, UR is equals to 1 by R V theta and VR is equals to minus 1 by R U theta. Okay, UR is equals to 1 by R V theta and VR is equals to minus 1 by R U theta. Here I have written UR is equals to 1 by R V theta and VR is equals to minus 1 by R U theta. You can represent it in this form or that form, whichever form is easy. It is dou U by dou R is equals to 1 by R dou V by dou theta and dou V by dou R is equals to minus 1 by R dou U by dou theta. Either way you can represent. So both of this you make a note of it. So these are called CR equations in Cartesian and polar coordinates. CR equations in Cartesian and polar coordinates. Okay, we'll take one example. Let us take a normal function. Z is equals to x plus iy. We'll check whether it is analytic or not. Whether it is analytic or not. Now, what is your z? Z is I have to check whether z is equals to f of x plus iy is analytic or not. So you know what is f of z? What is f of z? F of z is equals to u plus iv. U plus iv. Okay. Now, what is the value here? What is the value of u here? U is equals to x. What is the value of v? V is equals to y. So find ux. Ux will be equal to 1 and find uy. Uy is equals to 0 and find vx. Vx will be equal to 0. What is vy? Vy equal to 1. You understood? Differentiation with respect to x gives me 1. Differentiation with respect to y gives me 0. Now here ux is equals to vy and uy is equals to minus vx or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So z is a what function? Analytic
Function.
analytic function. So simple problems like this will be given. Some what to say? Simple equations will be given. You have to just check the analyticity. You have to just check the analyticity. Sometimes no, we will be using polar coordinates. Sometimes we'll be using the normal Cartesian coordinates itself, and we will answer it. Okay, we will answer it. Suppose you take W is equals to Z square. Just check whether W is equals to Z square is analytic or not. How will be Z square, ma? How will be Z square?
That's why we use x
We
square
x
plus y
square
square.
plus y square.
And x square plus y square, ma'am.
X plus IY the whole square. Z square means. Correct? I said Z square. Z square means X plus I. What is the value? Here you have X plus IY. X plus IY the
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
square. What is your X plus IY? X square plus 2X IY
IY
minus Y square. What is
Y
your
square.
U here? U is equals to X square minus Y square. What is your V? V is equals to 2XY. Now you check. Now you check. What, ma?
It is analytical.
Analytic.
It's analytic now.
It is analytic. You're
analytic.
getting it?
Yes.
So what
Yes,
you have to
ma'am.
check? You have to
Yes,
check UX. What is your UX here? 2X. What is your
X.
VX here? 2Y.
2y
What about your UY? UY will be equal to minus
minus
2Y.
2y.
And what will be your VY? VY will be equal to 2X.
Yes.
Okay, so here you have to check UX is equals to VY. So this and this quantity, right? So UX is equals to VY and UI is equals to minus VX. So therefore the given function is analytic, the simple function. Okay, I'll give you one more problem. I just wanted you to check whether the function f of z equal to 1 by z is analytic or not.
Can you repeat what just you said?
I have written it here, ma. Check whether the function f of z is equals to 1 by z is analytic or not. How will you write, ma? F of z will be equal to 1 by x
Conjugate
plus
of-
iy. Huh?
of z.
X plus iy have to multiply by
By
the
z into-
conjugate x minus
Yes,
iy.
ma'am.
X minus iy. So this will be equal to x minus iy divided by a plus b the whole square, which will be equal to a plus b into a minus b, a square minus b square, which will give you x square plus y square in the denominator. And what about your function? It is u plus iv. What is your u? U is x by x square plus y square. And what is your v? V is minus y by x square plus y square. Come on, find out vx, vy, ux, uy. And check whether it is analytic or not. Shall I do it or you will do?
I'm doing, ma'am.
I'm doing it.
It is not analytic.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is
It is
not
not
analytic.
Yes, ma'am. Not analytic. U
1 by
is not
z.
equals to Vx.
But let us check. I have written analytic. U, what is U, ma? U is x by x square plus y square. And what is your V? V is minus y by x square plus y square. Now, once you find
Ma'am,
ux,
it is analytic, ma'am. It is
it is
analytic.
analytic only I have written. Let me check.
Yeah,
Some
ma'am.
Yes,
said.
it is.
So x square plus y square into differentiation of the denominator will give you 1 minus numerator into differentiation of the denominator will give you 2x divided by x square plus y square the whole square. Once you simplify this, what will be your ux? X square plus y square minus 2x square divided by x square plus y square. So this will become y square minus x square divided by x square plus y square. So this is your ux value, correct? Everyone are getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Now we
ma'am.
will check uy value. Uy value. What was my u? U is x by x square plus y square. Now I have to find uy. Uy is partial differentiation with respect to y. So here we have a differentiation only in the denominator. So directly also you can do it, or you can even use u by v form, whichever form you want you can use. So I can even do it directly. Once I do it directly, it will be minus 1 into differentiation of the numerator. What is the numerator, ma? Sorry, x square plus y square whole power minus 2. You understood? I took this to the numerator. So I wrote minus 1 into x square plus y square minus 1 into the differentiation of this term. What is the differentiation of this term? 2y. So this will be equal to minus 2xy divided by x square plus y square the whole square. You're getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Minus 2xy divided by x square plus. Now this is over.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
we will find v. What is my v? V is minus y by x square plus y square. What is your vx? Vx again there is no numerator. You can retain it minus y. So when you take it to the numerator, you will get minus 1 x square plus y square whole power minus 2 into differentiation of this will give you with respect to x 2x. This will become plus 2xy divided by x square plus y square the whole square. You are getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Plus 2xy divided by x
I
square plus y
just
square
made a
the
mistake.
whole
I
square.
just made a
Yeah.
mistake.
Then find vy. What will be your vy? Vy is again we have a minus y by x square plus y square. Okay. Now we'll do u by v method. Minus sign will make it common. So what will be that? Denominator into differentiation of the numerator minus numerator into differentiation of the denominator with respect to y, which will be 2y divided by v square, x square plus y square the whole square. Once you simplify this, what will be your vy? Minus of x square plus y square minus 2y square divided by x square plus y square the whole square. So this will be equal to minus of minus y square or x square minus y square divided by x square plus y square the whole square. Now you check. You have to check ux is equals to vy. What is my ux? Ux is y square minus x square by x square plus y square. What is vx? Ux equal to vy.
Yes, ma'am.
You're getting it. You take
Yes,
this
ma'am.
minus sign inside. Once you take this minus sign, you'll get y square minus x square divided by x square plus y square the whole square. So ux is equals to vy. It is over. Now you have to check uy is equals to minus vx. So here you have minus 2xy by this, and you have to check plus 2x.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
ux
I
is
just
equals
made
to
a
vy.
mistake here.
Yeah, that's okay. No issues. Anyway, I just wanted to solve also. So therefore, here listen. Let me tell you. You have to write it like this. Here, ux is equals to vy and uy is equals to minus vx. So CR equations are satisfied. Okay. Therefore, the given function is analytic. Therefore, f of z is equals to what? 1 by z is analytic. These conclusions are very important. Simply proving here and there, I will not evaluate, sir. Is it understand? Simply if you scribble somewhere ux, somewhere uy, ma'am, it is equal only. No, you see. No, I will not see. You have to write all these things. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Other problems we'll see in the next class. Yeah. I'll just take the attendance and then you people can leave. Tell me, ma, you all understood? You have any other doubts in today's class?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please upload these notes on Meetup?
Yes, these notes I'll upload. Whatever I'm writing on the board will be uploaded.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, also there was one PDF from which you were teaching,
Yes,
ma'am.
that basic PDF I'll upload. That is the definitions of the analytic function I'll upload.
Thank you, ma'am.
That I'll upload. Surely I'll upload. No need to see the proofs all, yeah? Not necessary.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just mark the attendance, then you can leave. 1 minute, wait. What I'm doing? You are B2 slot or A2 slot? Yeah, A2 slot, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Harsh Mishra is here. Harsh Mishra. Then Surya Gunanidhi. Then Anish Kumar. Then Siddharth. Siddharth Bhattacharya. Sent. Nishant. Tushar Kumar Singh. Then Venkata. Sorry. Venkata Sai Kumar. No, not this.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Sorry, not this one. Yeah, Venkata Nai Sai Aditya. Is he here? No. Then Abhishek R.
Present, ma'am.
Pranav Narayanan.
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Okay. All the others I have given attendance. You can leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am. Good
Thank you,
evening.
ma'am.
Thank you, 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 ma'am.
Ma'am, I had a doubt.
Tell me, ma'am.